This guy hasn't missed yet. This will be a 33-yard attempt for Domingue. And it's a fake. The throw to Domingue. He bobbles it. And now he hits to the end zone. Touchdown.
3rd and 7. And Flynn is back to throw for the end zone. Oh! Touchdown.
Welcome into the Triple B podcast, the Bayou Bengal Backers. Didn't twist that one tonight. It's Cody and Brandon here. We're going to be talking about all things LSU. It's episode 3 tonight. We're going live on the Triple B podcast YouTube finally. Very excited about that. LSU takes a victory over Florida 20-10 in a very, very impressive defensive performance. So, Brandon, I mean, how you feeling right now?
I'm not going to say uneasy per se. Defensively, they've proven, I mean, it definitely helps when the other quarterback's throwing Christmas gifts, five interceptions by chance. But, I mean, defensively, they've been elite, in my opinion. I think they've definitely warranted to probably be like top 10, top 15 unit. Offensively, you still have plenty of question marks because I feel like, man, you just have too much talent to be struggling. And obviously, we're going to get into the stuff with Nussmeier, and I feel like that kind of has a lot to play in, like to where maybe the playbooks seem really limited or we feel like we can only do so much. So I'm kind of on the fence. But, I mean, I don't feel bad. I think there's a lot of things we need to figure out, going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, so it was Brian Kelly had his quote today that basically is talking about Garrett Nussmeier's injury. He said he's been slowed a little bit with a torso injury, and he's fighting through it, and he's getting better. He's not going to be able to shut it down until the bye week. Come Saturday, he's good to go. We've limited him a little bit during the week because of the tightness he's had in his torso. It's an upper body injury, and you want to be careful with how many reps he's getting throwing the football. He's overcoming that, but we kept him I can barely read it, sorry. But we cut him down. Okay, that just doesn't make sense. Anyway, substantially. So, yeah, I mean, Nussmeier has the upper body injury. I mean, in your torso area, that's obviously just very uncomfortable, to say the least. It explains a lot because the biggest thing that we've really seen out of Nussmeier so far is the fact that he's not doing what he normally does. He's known for taking the deep ball a lot. He's got receivers that are made to catch the deep ball. And that was something that, my assumption was, okay, LSU is specifically planning strategically for each team. And I think that's right. But it wasn't because that was what they wanted to do. It's because it's what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you think that once we do hit the bye week that it's going to be enough for Nuss to feel better?
I think regardless if he's 100% or not, they're gonna have to like figure it out whether they're gonna double down on running the ball or he's just gonna have to just roll with it. Like you're just gonna have to you're gonna have to channel your inner Brett Favre, bro, and just sling it 100% or not. I think I'm hoping that this coming week, I think we were talking about before, I'm hoping they can shut him down after the first quarter, if not maybe a little bit before halftime. That way he can get the reps in, stay active, stay good, but at the same time get the rest because you don't want to overwork it because you think about it for a quarterback, that's like the center of your core. You know, your shoulders are right there, your arms are right there. Obviously, it's a lot in your hips and your footwork, but I mean, if your chest is hurting, it's going to really damper your delivery, your timing, your ball placement, especially like how far you're going to be able to throw the ball downfield, which is kind of like what we were talking about, is that maybe that's a reason why we haven't seen those 50, 60-yard bombs downfield because maybe he just doesn't – maybe just not able to put the ball there. He's experiencing maybe a lot of tension and pain in this like chest and all that. And that makes sense, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like I'm hoping that if very limited playing time this week, then after I'm hoping that, you know, he's at least serviceable enough to where we can open things up and at least be a bit – because, I mean, outside of that, this offense should be able to drop 28, 30 points a game like on any given Saturday, in my opinion. But it does make a lot of sense as to why we've seemed a lot more limited in the past game. And maybe why he's been a little slower in his progressions lately.
We got a couple comments here. James Fender says, but can they beat Alabama? You damn right we can beat Alabama.
I don't see why not. I mean, we didn't lose to Florida State. Well, we did 2 years ago, but, you know, not this year.
Exactly.
That's a different story.
Absolutely. Terry says, what's up, gentlemen and Brandon? He says he hopes we are well. Well, Terry, I hope you're well, my friend. And I hope that your Bruins hire a good coach.
I heard Chip Kelly's available.
I
suggested it the other issue. Maybe, you know, Les Miles is a national championship winning head coach, you know.
Yeah. Johnny Birchfield says the ugliest hat he's ever seen. To be fair, I wore this hat when we rode together back in the day. This is my go-to hat. This hat actually has a good story to it. It survived a hurricane and everything. It is my lucky hat. I've had this hat for about 17 years now.
Yeah, those hats last too.
They do. And so I've got a pendant in it right there that my grandfather gave me years ago, and I've always wore it. So it's my go-to. I love this hat. But you know, looking at the stats from the other night, Durham, he had 15 carries, 93 yards. I mean, he did have the 51-yard carry. So 14 carries, 42 yards. Okay. Not bad, though. I mean, realistically. I mean, that's 3 yards a carry. It's not what you want out of him.
But it's close enough.
But exactly. He was earning every yard he got. I mean,
that long run, I mean – and the long run was a touchdown. So, I mean, hey, it works out. You know, I mean, maybe not the best yards per carry you would look at, but at least when you had the big run, it affected the game. You know, I mean, you scored. So, it definitely helped.
And then, I mean, receiving-wise, as always, Aaron Anderson led the way. 4 receptions, 75 yards. Bauer Sharp, 3 receptions, 71 yards. That 65-yard reception was beautiful, by the way.
Nick Anderson had a couple catches, too.
Yeah, he did. And it was nice to see, you know, he's starting to get more and more out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell I really think once Nussmeier gets to the point where he's feeling better, Nick Anderson is going to explode.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be scary.
It's going to be
I'm just absolutely. I'm just feeling it. But I think the one big story that needs to be discussed from the game is everything that happened with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Whit Weeks gets booted for a targeting call that questionable, but is what it is. It was first quarter, so it's all good. You know, he's back this week. He's do his thing. West Weeks gets injured. Hated seeing that. I have not seen an update on his status yet.
Not anything like for certain. I've seen reports, but nothing like that can confirm like what's going on.
Exactly. So, which makes me think that maybe a little bit of rest, he'd probably be good. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I'm leaning. But it was pretty cool to see Weeks number 3 hit the game and
I
just
thought he was
lay the
good.
He was fantastic. I couldn't believe what I was seeing out of him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously we just got a little sample of it, but and obviously I think too, because of the pregame, shuffle that they had and just
Mm-hmm.
the animosity between the two teams, I think he was hyped up as it was. And plus, when you see your brother go down, it makes you want to play even harder. So
Mm-hmm.
trust me. Hell, technically 2 brothers go down. So
Mm-hmm.
you see that you got to get in there and you got to take care of business. But I mean, we saw some really just interesting things that we didn't expect, like Deshaun Spears getting 2 picks, 1 pick
Mm-hmm.
6. Like, all right, DJ Pickett finally getting that pick. That felt good to see. I love the
Halsey too.
celebration. Yep, Halsey's was I
Dude,
loved his.
he's a baller.
He
That
really
guy
is.
is
Like,
a baller. Like
I can't believe that he wasn't talked about more before coming to LSU. I mean, he was talked about. Don't get me wrong, he
but
was.
not as much as what you would think.
Yeah, and I mean, Tamarcus Cooley gets one as well, and it's just so it just feels so good to see that. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
Harold Perkins almost had one himself. It just went
Yeah.
right. It just went right through his hands. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, almost 6 picks on the night. You get 5. You put yourself top 5 nationally in interceptions now, which I would hope so if you get 5 in a game at this point. So, the team, they've got 6 on the year now. They had 3 sacks, which was obviously really good to see. The defensive line looked really good to me. Linebackers always look great, even when you're down 2 linebackers in the game. I'm very impressed with the defense. They're still answering every call. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that stood out to me is the fact of second half shutdown again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's see. So in the second half, Florida punt, interception, punt, interception, interception.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Efficient. That's but that's a vibe killer, man. Like they exposed Lagway in his not gonna say immaturity, but he's still got some growing to do as a quarterback in general. But they got really good pressure at the line of scrimmage. But I feel like they rattled him because he was trying so hard to get that team back in the game, and it was just like, man. But you could tell. But like, man, he was forcing those balls, and I'm like, oh man. Like if I'm Florida, I'm like, man, I get it. Like you're trying to make something shake, but man, you cannot. But they were just they were all around the ball. Like
absolutely. Now, the one thing that I'm looking forward to this weekend is watching Florida actually go to Miami and play, because everybody's pretty sold on Miami at this point. I feel like they've earned that, and I think when we see what Florida does against them, I think that's going to help us kind of gauge where we really are at, because beating Clemson at first looked great, and since then it doesn't look so great. I mean, if you would have told me that Notre Dame would start 0-2, Clemson would start 1-2, I would have said you're crazy. I wouldn't have believed it. But here we are. So I firmly believe LSU is one of the better teams in the country still. I'm not going to question that. Knowing Nussmeier does have an injury makes me feel better about the future. And I really think that as long as he gets healthy in that bye week, and hopefully that kind of ties to this weekend as well, because they said he was already limited this week in practice just to kind of get him some rest. I'm hoping that means that there is a plan to not play him extended, like it seems like they've had to do the whole time, because that's what they've done all season so far. So I think it's looking up. Really do.
Who's that game after the bye week? Is that South Carolina? If I'm not mistaken. And if that's South Carolina, that one's at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So, all right. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. So we got Southeastern, then we got Ole Miss after Southeastern.
Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, that one's at
and
Ole
then,
Miss. Though.
Yes, yeah. But then after Ole Miss is the bye week, and then we have South Carolina at home. So that's
So Ole Miss,
Good.
I mean, and I'm not going to touch on that much, but I think seeing how Florida plays will kind of help us gauge like kind of what we expect to see when they have to go to Oxford and go play them. So I mean, I think LSU's in a good spot defensively. They got to keep up the intensity. You have to keep
Absolutely.
up, especially because once you get into SEC play, you're going to start playing those more talented quarterbacks. Like you're going to play Austin, I forget his name from Ole Miss, and you got to play Sellers if he's healthy. You got to play
Well,
Marcel Reed. You
so
got to play Pavia. You got a lot of guys like that.
so the interesting thing is that Simmons like lost his job for Ole
Oh
Miss.
wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so Trinidad Chambly, he started for them against Arkansas, and he went 21-29 for 353.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the hot hand then.
Absolutely, and he had 15 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns as well.
Yeah, I think they're
But
gonna go with the hot hand.
yeah,
But
for sure. But I mean, to be fair, Arkansas is not.
Sam
They're not
Pittman's
the
on the way
Bears.
out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Arkansas has a very talented squad on them,
But
but
they just haven't been performing up to
yeah,
standard.
and back-to-back weeks, Ole Miss has had very close games, and they were against middle to lower the pack teams in the conference. I'm feeling like Ole Miss may not be what people think they should be.
I mean, that's a team though that'll always kind of be in the hunt just based on who their coach is. But
Sure.
I do, and I don't want to delve too much into Ole Miss, but I feel like that's a team that lost some really key contributors on offense and defense. And
Yes.
I think that is something that you should, because I mean, you lose a freaking great pass rusher, Walter Nolan. He's going to be a stud at the next level, and then you lose a
Yep.
quarterback who went in the first round. So I mean,
Yep.
I think that's something that you have to consider.
Absolutely. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Ole Miss will be fine, but that matchup when we get to them is going to be a lot of fun, to say the least.
It's
It
going to be
always
over
is.
there, but it's going to be over there too. So
Mhm.
that's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, just overall though, with the team, I mean, it's kind of like we've said previously. I mean, defense checks all the boxes. Each week, I noticed that Blake Baker's play calling gets better and better.
He mixes it up. It's not predictable. So, like when you played Clemson, you blitzed all game, like foot on the gas all game, like no, not worried at all. He blitzed last week, but they didn't blitz as much. Like they played a lot
Yeah.
more like zone and the flats and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I feel like they contained. Lagway didn't really like he's a very athletic guy. What he said, Cody, quit twirling you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Twirling my mustache like I'm the Ole Miss running reb. I
Yep.
can't help it. It's like because my mustache is just too long and I hate it. So I always do it because it's like it gets on my lips and I don't like that feeling. I gotta go
But
see my barber. So
okay. But what was I? No, I was saying he's been mixing it up quite a bit, and I feel like Lagway was a really athletic guy, and they forced him to throw. Like he didn't run around much, or he got out the pocket and tried to make throws, and that's usually when. I mean, you obviously are in a quarterback's head when out of that last 5 possessions you're throwing 2 or 3 interceptions and then you're punting. Like you've obviously gotten in the quarterback's head and he's making mistakes, forcing
yep.
balls in the places he shouldn't do it. So I think that's a testament to LSU as well, because it's like, man, you're bringing pressure everywhere he goes. The ball, like everywhere he's trying to put the ball, you're there. Like that's good. That's a good
Yep.
sign going further when you have to play those more athletic guys, because if you take away their ability to run and you're forcing them to throw, I don't feel horrible about the secondary. I know that was a big question mark coming into this year, but I don't feel too bad about that because they've been getting really good push at the line of scrimmage. They've been winning in the trenches from the defensive line. And even if the quarterback gets it out, I feel like there's always a DB somewhere around making a play. Even if they're not there to like break it up, they're there to make the tackle and not like allow a big time play. We've given up a few big plays, but not too many where I'm like, oh my gosh, like we got lucky that one freaking big one that got called back. I about freaking
Yep.
threw my drink across the room. I'm like, dude, no, there ain't no way.
Yeah, but obviously, I mean, when you saw the replay of it, it was the right call.
Yeah,
That is
I
for
wasn't
sure.
complaining.
No, oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
That's a game changer.
There is actually you actually raise a really good question for me that I want to look at some stats real quick and see. All All right. Longest play from scrimmage for Florida was 25-yard reception. Let's see. Louisiana Tech's longest play against us was 33-yard reception. And then Clemson's longest play was a 26-yard reception.
So it's all been more intermediate or so.
Yeah. That
first
says
down
a
and a little
lot.
bit more. Yeah, because you're not giving up any big time, like game changing plays.
Exactly. And I mean, I think Clemson's going to turn it around. I think that Florida's honestly, I think Florida's screwed.
I think Florida, and I don't want to be a hater, but I think they're cooked.
They are.
I just think, and I know that's not going to make us look any better, but Miami is playing very confident, playing really well. Like, they have looked good. And, I mean, It would be cool to see Florida beat Miami because that makes us look better. But I don't know, man. I just think Florida's got a lot more question marks and issues than, like, what I think people were overhyping in them in the preseason, having them as high as, like, 13. I'm like, that's a little unwarranted. Like, I don't know about that, but.
Yep. So, I don't know, man. It's a shame to see because that schedule is brutal.
That's 2 years in a row. Last year was freaking bad too.
Absolutely, and
I don't see them putting it together.
Yeah, the difference is, if they would have somehow figured out a way to win that LSU game.
Oh yeah, that changes everything.
Everything, absolutely. Like, had they not lost the South Florida game, and they could have pulled out the LSU game, going in undefeated against Miami, that would have been the perfect. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any better for them for the season because I think they would have had a very good season had that happened. But I feel like 2 in a row, one game where it was just frustrating. The second game, it was like a stab in the heart. Mm-hmm. I mean, when your quarterback throws 5 picks, your defense can only do so much for you. I mean, it just.
And the biggest talking point was that, okay, you dropped a game you shouldn't have dropped. Now your back's against the wall. You have nothing to lose. They're going to come with their best stack, or they're going to come with their best game plan, whatever. And had he not thrown like 2 of those interceptions, you probably win that game, Sure. And I mean, I'll credit LSU's defense for a big part of that, but I'll credit a piece of it too to his, like, he still has to develop. He still has to get better in his progressions and, not forcing it. You need to go for the smart play. Sometimes it's the check down. You don't have to force the ball into double and triple coverage. Like, you have to make those right decisions. So I think that's not good for them because I feel like that was the perfect game for you to win because you lose a game you shouldn't lose, then you can come back and get this win. Now you're kind of really against the wall and it's like, man, we lose this one. Like, they're going to start knocking on that door and, trying to talk about doing a buyout. You know what I mean? I think that's definitely a conversation being had for them, but
absolutely. So I'm sure you saw that press conference the other day where the reporter asked Brian Kelly about the offense and he snapped back. Hearing the comments now about Nussmeier's injury, does it make that snap back actually make more sense now?
Yes and no. I think it was unwarranted regardless. Like, I'm glad you want to defend your players and you get like feisty, and that's okay. But I mean, that was kind of uncalled for in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
And I get it. He's like, man, like in his head, he's like, yeah, I know we're struggling on offense, and you can't give away everything because obviously he wasn't trying to give the injury away. Yeah. But I'm glad that he came back and he apologized for it. But it was kind of out of pocket for me. I mean, I would kind of understand from that perspective, but at the same thing, he's just asking a question. Like, it's not that serious. I mean, yeah, you understand. Like, we're struggling and da-da-da-da. And I guess.
Like, I felt like when because I rewatched it again today, just because I wanted to see if I could pick up some cues in it. And when he snapped back like that, I felt like it was him basically like, hey, I get it. Shut up. Let's try not to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bring this up yet.
Yeah, I felt like it was strategic.
And I mean, that makes sense. Because I mean, you don't want to give away that your quarterback's hurt ahead of, like, you know what I mean? But now it's kind of okay, he's just been kind of battling something. And the general consensus, I would think, is, hey, he's gonna play. If we can get out ahead early, like we said, to get 20, 30-point lead, pull him, let him rest. He's gotten his reps in. Now let's try to utilize that time in the bye week for you to rehabilitate, go to trainers, go to whatever you need to do, so where you can make sure you're ready for that Ole Miss game. Because after that schedule's up there. Like you kind of go through the gauntlet. You have some really athletic quarterbacks you're gonna have to play against, and some really good teams too. So
Absolutely. So let me ask you: do you think that Nussmeier is still playing because the coaching staff doesn't have faith in Michael Van Buren or Colin Hurley?
I think it's a mixture of that, and I think he's just a competitive guy, and he does not want to get off the field because he's had to work. When you're that patient, when you come in as a recruited guy with Ed Orgeron, you play a little bit like in the Arkansas game, and then obviously Jaden Daniels comes, Miles Brennan leaves. You sit behind Jaden Daniels for 2 years, which he could have easily up and left, like Walker Howard did. And you see how that's not really working out for Walker Howard now. Now he's out for the season, and I don't even know if he has any eligibility left. I think Nussmeier has got a chip on his shoulder. It's like, okay, well, last year I played, and we didn't really make it where we needed to, and I made mistakes. So I think now it's like I'm gonna play as long as I can play. Like I have a point to prove. Like this is my team. I want to get us to the playoffs. We didn't make it with Jaden. LSU hasn't been relevant in 5+ years. Like I want to be that guy. Like I want to take the accountability for that. So I think it could be a little bit of confidence issues in the quarterback room, which Van Buren played a sizable amount for Mississippi State last year. So that's that's not I think if he goes out there, he'd be okay. But I think it's more so that Nussmeier's like, hey, like I can go, I just can't go. Like I can't stretch the field as much as what I normally would. Can we try to maybe make the playbook, cater to what I can do, and I'll do everything I can to like put us in position to win.
Yeah. So looking at it right now, just comparing the stats of Nussmeier through his career, his first year at LSU, 2021, 50.9% completion rate. 2022, 61.9. 2023, 61.5. 2024, first year as a real starter, 64.2%. So far this year, he's at 65.1%, the best of his career.
And that's where you want to be. You want to be in that 65 or so. That's the best place to be.
Yes. So through 3 games, he's thrown 106 passes. So in that case, through 12 games, that would put him at 424 passes. So he's definitely about 100 passes under what he was last year, which makes sense with the injury.
Yep.
And then again, I guess you can factor in a bowl game. So, give or take a few passes there. But, it's
They're
definitely
running the ball more too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely interesting to monitor as the season goes by. And I think seeing those numbers, he's got 689 yards passing. He's averaging 6.5 yards completion, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm not losing faith. I will say it is weird, though, when you look at his numbers for each game. It's like 232, 237, 220. Nussmeier is a 305, 315, 325 passer.
But it makes sense with the injury, though, that he's not throwing the ball nearly as much. And if he's going short, intermediate, like first down plays, they'll add up. If you're not throwing it as much, then, you're only going to go so far,
Yeah, and I think that's one thing, too, when we look at the film and you see where Nussmeier's missing some looks. Now that I think about it, did he actually miss those looks? Or is it that he physically can't make that throw?
May have been limited, if he's having that kind of, it's dependent on like the pain he's actually like dealing with.
So, there's a lot to consider there. But, that being said, though, this weekend, Southeastern Louisiana, respectable team as always good to play the team down the road. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be another LSU victory, giving them a 4-0 heading into Ole Miss. That said, you got any final thoughts tonight?
All I can say is really use this game to get creative, even defensively. Like, see what else you got, man. Get some of those, because you have some. Ashton Stamps really hasn't been seeing the field at all. Let him get some reps, man. Let him stay fresh. Let him be ready, because if one of these guys goes down, I'm okay with him playing. Like, he had so many reps last year, and I thought he was really productive. So I think it's, and especially offensively, if for instance, if he cuts it out at halftime, let those other quarterbacks like really get some reps in, because you need those guys to be ready. Really, I want you to really work on the run and implementing the run and having a successful game running the ball. But also, I want those guys getting those throws in, because if for some reason he plays Ole Miss, I hate to say it, but somebody he plays and he gets hit the wrong way and he goes down for a little bit of time, like we need somebody to be in there that can come in and the offense won't skip a beat. We can still score points. We can still hold up with the defense, because if we take a step further back on offense, that's where you have a problem, because the defense is already on the field so much because they're holding you over because the lack of like points being scored. You want to be ready. You want to be able to not put yourself in that position where my defense is too tired and now they make a mistake. We don't want that to happen. So, I mean, just getting those guys the reps and just fine-tuning areas that you see maybe struggling. And, I mean, hopefully you get Trey'Dez Green back here pretty soon, maybe over the next couple of games. I mean, Bauer Sharp looked really good, so I'd continue to just build his chemistry and, build his comfortability in the offense. But I think other than that, not too much.
I like it. Well, everybody, thank you again for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe. We're Bayou Bengal Backers on YouTube. Just go check us out. We are putting out shorts like there's no tomorrow right now, trying to, establish a brand. So we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. We'll see you the same time next week. And as always, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.